would you pick?
Call of Duty World War II.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Classic. I got it at home.
Yeah, that's good. Is that the one with Kiefer Sutherland? Like where you had the flamethrower and you're flamethrowing dudes?
No, I don't think so.
That was World at War.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, like Call of Duty World War II is like the almost the original Call of Duty. I think that was on a cartridge, if I remember.
Well, the first 3 were all World War II. And then 4 was like modern warfare.
Yeah.
And then you were like in the middle.
They were trying. I think they were trying to compete with the other other games that were like that. Titanfall, I think, was a popular one that was coming out at the same time.
Yeah.
So it was more futuristic.
Stefan, what would be your stream? What would be your Twitch game?
You know, actually, I would say we're going back to like Sega Genesis, NBA Jam.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Who's your team in NBA Jam?
I went back and forth between
one answer.
Couple. I want to say the Timberwolves was one of them.
Was that Leitner? Who was on that team? That would be Leitner and
Leitner and I'm trying to think who the other one was. Can't remember.
I was a Seattle Sonics guy.
Oh, that was Kemp and Payton.
Kemp and Payton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, in college we had 2 TVs.
And in television, right? You guys had
we had 2
Atari
TVs.
2600 when you were in college?
The quad right next to us had 2 TVs running simultaneously all the time. And on one TV, they had a Sega Genesis with Mortal Kombat. And it was nonstop King of the Hill. Whoever was the best would stay, and everybody else had to try to knock him off the couch. Yep.
That's dope.
Yeah, it was awesome. That was a place to hang out.
I bought an arcade cabinet off a dude in Ohio last summer. He like made it himself, and he's got like a computer thing. It was a Raspberry something. I don't know.
Raspberry Pi.
There it is.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, nerd alert.
I also knew about Raspberry Pis.
Okay, I did too. I was just trying to play it off like I didn't know what it was.
Jody knows too. Come on,
man. So it has one of those Raspberry Pis in there, which, I mean, okay, I know what it is, but it's just a small computer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I know enough to know what it is, but not what it is, if that makes sense. And it's got all this stuff on there, like all these games, all this stuff, and it's in an arcade cabinet. So haven't brought Mortal Kombat to the kids quite yet, but Burger Time is huge at our house. Remember Burger Time?
Oh, yeah. Sure Burger Time. Right on.
That is my wife's favorite game.
Burger Time is like trying to explain Burger Time to kids. It's like, okay, so you got to, but then a tomato is going to come at you and you got to shake your pepper at the tomato. It's dope. Mm-hmm. Burger Time. Pepper.
I'll have to look and see if I have. I've got one of the, it's the same type idea. It's like a game console with like 500 games all in it. It's at the brewery, so people can play, whatever game.
Which brewery is that?
The Leesburg one. Or do you want me to be brand specific? Here you go. Hopler Brewing.
Hopler Brewing, yes. official brew.
Yeah,
brewery.
They also do Rubens.
Best Reuben in the land.
Yes, that's right. I can vouch for that.
Official sponsor of the Freedom Cats podcast. We love that.
I'm just going to say we should have a 21 and over episode where the coffee is changed out for a different.
Bro, we could do that right now. Hit
for
the pause button.
Actually,
except for I got to drive. I'm going to be transporting people, so I can't participate.
Pitch I got for a new seltzer.
Yeah,
is a non-alcoholic seltzer, and you're going to love it. We're going to make it with Tang.
Okay, it's going to be kind of it.
Where do you get Tang?
Wherever fine retail grocers are found.
Tang still exists?
Yeah, absolutely.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know this.
And it's going to be called Wu-Tang Splashdown. With the small print below it, because it's non-alcoholic. It's basically a soda.
Please allow me.
Yes, go ahead.
It's for the kids. It's for the children.
It's for the children.
It's for the children.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's
Call
so
me a
cool.
kid. I want it.
That's so dope. They still make Tang. Like, at what point would they stop making the greatest drink ever made? I think like these people were like, "Hey, we've got this cash cow."
It's NASA's biggest claim to fame.
Right?
Exactly. I just think they've done a piss poor job of promoting it, because I had no idea it still existed.
Well, I mean,
we need to dump billions of dollars into this organization because, they gave us Tang.
Well, you know what? By the way, right now, sound investment, dog. Sound investment.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Am I supposed to be mad about that? Like, okay, cool. We haven't made it to Mars, but we got Tang
Yeah, absolutely. And Velcro.
and Velcro.
Yeah.
Shout out to all my 5-year-olds.
Of all the shit you're going to take from Area 51, we got Tang and Velcro.
Velcro.
Come on, I know they got that gravity creating machine in there. Come on.
Allegedly.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Seed in the clouds.
Yeah.
But you know what,
creating
though?
the weather.
Velcro and Tang was enough opiate for the masses that we don't even care about the rest of it.
Yeah.
Well, what we do, we'd probably float some cats. That's what happens when
Right.
we get technology to people.
Right. Oh, you guys created like an energy field that gives me cancer right away? Tang's delicious, though. All right.
That's fantastic.
Well, this week, fellas, it's my pick. Usually this is the week that causes strife and angst amongst our group because I bring something cultured and challenging. I bring a challenging text to the board, and you guys struggle with it. And I usually get voted out.
He's still dealing with some stuff.
Still hurting. We're going to put you on the couch later so you can, talk about your feelings.
No, listen, I shared some vulnerable, like, hey, this was important to me in a vulnerable time of my life. And you said, yeah, well, it's shit. Yeah, that was the response I got. So, no, of all the things though, of all the pieces of content, like the change, there are things that can change, that fundamentally change your life. You could read a book, you can hear a song, you can see a film that will fundamentally change everything. Your concept of what a story is, your concept of how to tell a story, just change everything. Open up the world before you. And that, for me, is this film, Pulp Fiction. Released in 1994, nominated for 4 or 5 Oscars. Pulp Fiction is... it is the core text for me. It comes at all. This is it. Like I was piddling around with like The Lion King and Forrest Gump and, and then this movie happened and it blew my mind. I have seen this movie more than any other film or any other piece of content I've ever taken in. It's not enough to say like, this is my favorite movie. Like this is where it all began. Pulp Fiction.
He's pitching hard.
This doesn't need a pitch. This movie doesn't need a pitch, in my opinion.
This is true. You don't have to hard sell us on this one.
So I did notice it also has a sword in it. It's like a common Chris Black movie theme.
I just think that Quentin and I, I refer to him as Quentin Q. We're of a like mind, and so no, it's not even so much that we're of a like mind. He has completely influenced me in every way possible. Like
sure.
I wasn't messing around with ninja swords until I became familiar with the works of Mr. Quentin Tarantino. It's his second movie. I saw this one first. Reservoir Dogs being his first movie. The story goes he sold the script to True Romance, and with that money, he made Reservoir Dogs. That success launched him into be able to do his first mainstream film, Pulp Fiction. I found this movie when it came out. It was, at that point, it was billed as like a Bruce Willis movie because Bruce was just absolutely on fire at this point in his career. And I walked out, I turned around, I went back and saw it again. I saw this movie back to back in the same sitting, like one show viewing, turned right back around, went right back in. I don't remember paying for that second ticket, but I've paid for enough tickets since then to make up for that one. But this movie, I'll say a lot about, but I want to hear what you guys think. Was this a rewatch for you, a first time watch this go around? Stefan, tell me about your...
It was a rewatch, but it was a long time ago that I had seen it the first time. As far as rewatch, I actually rewatched it twice in a row. It was a long weekend for me, so I dozed a little bit, so I had to watch it again. No offense. But
none taken on this one.
Yeah.
It's on you.
And it's a collection of short stories more so than, one cohesive long movie. And it does take, I think, a couple watches in a row to really put all the pieces together and get the big picture of what the movie's all about.
Jody.
Yeah, you guys summarized it great. Yeah. It's a rewatch for me. Good movie. Stefan nailed it. It's one of those it's one of those movies for somebody coming to it for the first time. You might get a little distracted with the abrupt shift in kind of the philosophy short story where they're talking about foot massages to just John Travolta blowing some kid's brains all over the car, right? It's like, to
be fair, I mean, Jules hit a bump.
I think there's some debate whether or not Jules hit a bump. But if you can get by, because Quentin Tarantino definitely has a common approach to his movie development, and it is intentional. And if you can get by that, the craft of this thing is phenomenal. Just the timing sequences, because they're not in a consistent, like a standardized movie format.
The movie's not chronological order.
Right.
And at first viewing, because it's really 7 short stories. Okay. You have the prologue, which is the diner scene between Honey Bunny and
Tim Roth's character in this is phenomenal too.
And then
the bookends of that, beginning and end of that.
Right. And that's the thing though. Yeah. And then again, on that first viewing, so that first viewing, you have this couple, right? The movie opens with this couple at a diner, and they're having a very kind of back and forth, the kind of discussion you might have with your significant other about your job, right? Frustrations at your work. And it slowly builds. You realize that their job is theft. They rob liquor stores for a living. And they come to the idea that they're going to, now, hey, well, what if we rob a place like this diner? And again, the pacing and the cadence of the language builds, and it grows in intensity until suddenly they jump up, they rob the place. Any of you people move, and I'll execute every last one of you. And the movie just drops. I mean, it just drops.
I think she used different words.
She did. I'm trying to not get us the explicit warning totally on our podcast. Drop a couple every now and then, but and then it goes right into which is kind of the prelude to Vincent Vega and Marcellus Wallace's wife, which is a stated chapter, which is Vincent Vega and Jules in the car, which has become it's a meme now. It's so prolific. The entire car, the Royale with cheese, and I mean that whole thing has become this iconic cultural moment.
Right.
But again, that movie, like no one talked like those characters talked in this movie. I mean, you had Kevin Smith movies a little bit, maybe a year or two before that with Clerks, where there was a language used where. Every movie I saw prior to that was like action type movies. It was always about movement. These movies were about dialogue. Like a Kevin Smith movie, like Clerks, he just sets a camera down in a convenience store and lets the dialogue push the movie. This movie is very similar in that. In 1993, when I saw this movie, I'd never seen 2 characters talk the way that Samuel L. Jackson and John Travolta talk in that opening car scene. And it continues to go. I mean, you talk about it. They're just so fucking cool, right? I mean, they were just so cool.
Remember that whole thing about the explicit language?
Right, I know.
I broke that down.
I know, I get it. You're right.
No, actually, I'd agree. It's more day to day. I felt like it was Freedom Cats in a car. Just because that
is the kindest thing anyone has ever said.
They're just sitting there talking about whatever is on their mind, and I could picture myself like in the back seat just riding along. And
so they get into, they're talking about how, and they hint at stuff that is going to happen later in the film, right? Mm-hmm. Vincent Vega has been asked by Marcellus Wallace, their employer, to take his wife out on the town for a night. Then that gets into a whole conversation about should you mess around with the boss's wife. There's the thing about foot massages. Question, Jody, have you ever given a man a foot massage?
I have not.
Freedom Cats podcast is brought to you by Hopblore Brewing with 2 locations in the historic Leesburg Mill and the new location on Market Street. We brew with innovation.
How does this not giggle a little bit? Because
you?
No, have not. Have not.
Can't say I have.
Yeah, the logic of the film holds, right? A foot massage is a sexual act. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that conversation's actually a good, valid conversation.
Yeah, it is.
But then, wasn't it John Travolta who said, "Have you given your grandma a foot massage?"
Giving my grandma a foot massage. Gosh, I think as a kid, grandma might have put the dogs on me. Like, rub grandma's feet. You might have tapped into a core memory that I chose to push back.
Grandma. Going from here right to the therapist.
Yeah.
Yep.
So John Travolta and Samuel L. Jackson, like it's impossible now to like not associate. I think definitely Samuel L. Jackson, but it's impossible not to associate those two actors with these roles. Travolta,
right?
Vincent Vega, I mean, resuscitated his career. I mean, I knew prior to this, like John Travolta was the guy from Grease and the Look Who's Talking. Remember the Look Who's Talking, the Talking Baby movies?
Yep.
Yeah.
Bruce Willis, he was the voice of a baby, did you ever see those movies?
Yeah.
Okay. So like John Travolta was like the Kirstie Alley's love interest. He was like a taxi driver, I think. Look Who's Talking.
It's been a long time.
I mean,
was this Samuel Jackson's breakout film?
He was in Jungle Fever. I remember him in Jungle Fever. He was in Coming to America. Remember him in Coming to America?
No.
Yeah, he's the guy who tries to rob the McDowells with the shotgun.
Oh my gosh.
Eddie Murphy takes him out with a mop. Yeah, that's Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah, okay.
So no, I mean he had been in stuff for sure.
Coming to America, look at him.
But yeah, he was character actor, bit part here and there. Like
this was his breakout. Yeah.
This changes everything. This launches Samuel L. Jackson
right
as,
into the Jedi,
the bad
order.
mofo.
Yeah.
I mean, exactly. No,
yeah, this was what changed his roles. I think moving forward to, mother effing snakes on a mother effing plane.
Well, and this is his character. So he stereotypes himself into this character, and this is the character he's played every time.
Well, at this stage, right, of their careers, Samuel L. Jackson and Lawrence Fishburne are basically doing the same roles or auditioning for the same roles.
Competing.
They're going back and forth. If you saw Lawrence Fishburne in a movie around this time, Samuel L. Jackson probably passed on it. If you saw Samuel L. Jackson in a movie, that means they couldn't get Lawrence Fishburne. This role was actually written for Lawrence Fishburne, the role of Jules. Couldn't get Lawrence Fishburne because I think he was doing What's Love Got to Do with It, I think. I don't remember that part. But what?
I just thought that was I just thought it was funny.
Okay.
Love Got to Do with it, kept him from doing Pulp Fiction. So.
Right. Which one of those would you? I think he got an Oscar nomination for that one. But
No.
What's Love got to do with it? What was that based on?
That's the Tina Turner movie with Angela Bassett. He played Ike Turner.
He got for smacking Tina.
I think it was an Oscar nominated movie. So I mean, Lawrence Fishburne did all right. He got to be
own
Morpheus.
version. That was his own version of Pulp Fiction, right there.
I mean, Lawrence Fishburne. Sure, he didn't get to be Jules. He did get to be Morpheus.
That's true.
Yeah.
Who would you rather be, Morpheus or Jules?
Oh my gosh, that's a tough one.
We ask the hard questions here on the Freedom Cats podcast. Who would you rather be, Jules?
Yeah, I'd rather be Jules.
I'd have to go with Jules. Yeah, I'd rather be Jules.
Brian?
I mean, I'm Morpheus, I think.
You got to go Morpheus?
Yeah. I mean, I'm more the nerd, I think, though. Like
You look like the leather trench coat guy.
Yeah.
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 Morpheus
fits.
isn't really
That
a
fits.
nerd, though. Like,
No, but
Morpheus
it's
is like...
comic book, superhero. Pulp Fiction is like, you hope it doesn't happen in your neighborhood.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not talking about.
But Jules is reading some comic books. I guarantee it. Jules got a stack of books at home. Like, he's...
Yeah.
Well, Jules is a great character in the movie anyway, because in all reality, he has the best character arc.
He does have
From
maybe the
start
only
to
character.
finish.
I mean, he may be the only one
His-
with a whole arc, right? I mean, everyone else is pretty just despicable throughout the whole film. Jules, by the end of it, Jules is like, I'm going to go on I'm going to walk the land. I'm going to walk the earth like Caine and Kung Fu and get on adventures. I wish that show would have happened. Week to week, Jules goes to another town, like,
Would you say
taking
that
care of dudes.
Bruce Willis's character or John Travolta's character is the second closest to a full arc?
Oh, I see. I would say no on John Travolta's character.
I mean, John Travolta just his
He's
story in
despicable.
this is a scene.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he
he's
doesn't
despicable
change.
throughout.
Yeah, Jules changes. He doesn't.
Butch,
right.
Butch is noble, I think, throughout. Like
No, because he threw that fight intentionally to rip off
Marcellus Wallace.
Marcellus Wallace.
Well,
and
but I mean,
gets
if you
him
look at
back.
it, but he gets told to take a dive, right?
That's right.
And he's like, okay.
And then he
takes the money. He takes the money and then bets on himself.
Yeah.
Right.
And wins the fight. It's pretty I mean,
That's not noble. That's not noble. Noble was
compared to like
Noble was his turnaround at the end. That's noble. When he's about to walk out of the pawn shop, and instead of just letting Marcellus Wallace keep getting railed by those guys, decides to go back and save him.
you lost your LA privileges.
Marcellus Wallace
is the best.
He's got no arc. He's just him throughout.
You know why? Marcellus Wallace doesing need an arc.
That's right. He's
Yeah. He's a peak. He's at the top.
Yeah.
Marcellus Wallace, he's so great.
Ving Rhames really did. I mean, he's another. There's so many iconic characters in this, but his character in this is seriously the best.
Mr. about to spend the rest of his life in total agony. Yeah.
So good.
So then back to the kind of timeline. Then Vince and Jules go upstairs. They get the briefcase with the glowing briefcase, which the MacGuffin that we never. There's theories about what's.
I was going to talk about the theory.
Yeah, there's a theory about what's in the golden briefcase. I don't buy that theory. I think it's a silly theory.
But Quentin Tarantino is a genius for positioning it that way.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think it's one of those things. I think it's a MacGuffin. You're not. It doesn't matter what's in the box to you, the audience. It's just why did they go into that room and why did they have to like shoot everybody in the room? There has to be a reason. It's whatever's in that box, right, or in that briefcase. The theory is that it's go ahead.
Oh, the theory is that it's Marcellus's soul,
Right, but
in the first shot, you see the back of it, and he's got a Band-Aid, and they say that it's his soul in the briefcase that they took out of the back of his neck.
a lesser director would have closed that loop and tried to make it concrete.
I don't like the only reason why I don't like the theory is because there's nothing else in the movie of there's nothing metaphysical about the movie. There's not. This isn't a world where these kind of things happen, right? Like they don't establish it in the world. No, but you have to establish it in the world. You can't suddenly be like
They did. They did because what are you putting in a briefcase that when you open it, there's a golden aura coming out of the briefcase?
a soul. Like that, you
no,
say
no.
that, like, come on, bro. Like, what else would be in the briefcase but someone's soul?
It's
Like,
not-
yeah, no, you say that so, like,
No, it's not that it has to be.
soulless.
Of course, what else would it be?
Yeah, of course. I mean, where do you keep your soul? A leather briefcase, an
course it's
attaché,
golden
if you
and
will.
glowing.
No, look, when he positioned, this is the brilliance. I love this part of it because any lesser story writer or director would have tried to close that loop for the audience, but you've got the Band-Aid. You got the momentary pause where it doesn't matter if it's a Vincent Vega or if it's a Tim Roth. When they stare at it, they momentarily transition into whatever character they are into some pure appreciation of the beauty emitting from the briefcase. So it is something beyond the storyline. It's some metaphysical occurrence thing. And that's what it's supposed to be.
No, not at all.
Yes,
no.
that's
This
what it's
is
supposed to be.
it's supposed to be just a shiny thing that motivates those two guys to go in there and kill everybody. That's all it is. There's no meaning. There's no meaning in the briefcase other than to move the story along. Some dude hitting the bong in the early internet says, "Okay, hear me out. What if it's his soul, man?" And then they put it on whatever, and then it carries. And I love that. I love the meme of it that it carries on, and someone
Yeah.
has this theory. I love that piece.
I think
it's not intended in the text. There's nothing in the text.
I think it is an intentional point in which people are supposed to contemplate what's in the briefcase.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Marcellus sent them over after it for a reason. I mean, that's the kind of the closing.
It could
of
just
the
as
loop. It's
easily,
like,
though,
why is
be-
Marcellus sending them out?
It could be
after this
just
briefcase?
as easily
Gold bricks.
or 90 kilos of cocaine or whatever.
Cocaine
And
does not glow.
It's a
like that.
really small. It's a really small.
No, but,
bag
like, listen,
for
there's
90
I read-
kilos
there-
of cocaine.
Look, there's a recent episode of the show Atlanta on FX where they open up some chicken wings, right? And the chicken wings glow. Like, yes, the glow is supposed to signify that there's something special, that they're whatever they want.
Right.
Like, obviously, you know that Vincent Vega's a heroin addict, right?
Right.
It could very well be heroin in there. And to him, he sees the glow, and they're showing, like, the glow that he's
If it
experiencing.
was only
by
Vincent
looking
Vega,
at,
that might be a good argument. But Tim Roth did the same thing.
It's got to be Chick-fil-A.
Tim
and
Roth
they're
did the
not
same thing.
Popeyes.
Yeah, when he opened when Samuel L. Jackson opens the briefcase at the diner, and Tim Roth.
So you're telling me that Tim Roth, trying to rob a diner, opens up a briefcase, sees someone's soul in it, and is suddenly like, what exactly does a soul look like, by the way? I'm curious.
so
No.
Golden and glowing.
So think about
So
this.
gold and glow. Tell me about the soul, Jody. What's the soul look like? It's a whole new episode that I didn't think was going to happen.
I'm
but by
not
all
saying
means.
I'm not saying it is a soul.
You have said it is a soul.
No, you keep telling me that's what I'm saying. No, I'm saying it's supposed to be something that transcends the storyline. It's supposed to be something so beautiful it captures the person looking at it, right? That's why there's that glow coming out.
But these are despicable people looking inside the
What if it's an
briefcase.
infinity stone?
Yeah,
and
could
it
be
just
an
comes
infinity
off as
stone.
whatever you want the most.
Sure,
It's like
1,000%.
it's
I'm
like-
sure that's exactly.
It's Johnny
I'm
Depp's.
Sure.
It's Johnny Depp's compass.
No, I'm
It's
sure
just-
Quentin Tarantino was like, I'm going to make this movie about criminals, but in the middle of it, I'm going to throw in an infinity stone. Come on.
Hey, you know what? It's a whole new addition to the Marvel Cinematic Universe right now.
it could have been that reflective plate on the kid's head from Shogun Assassin.
I'd buy that. Jeez, OP.
No, he left it open ended because he wants you to guess whether the guy is gonna like whip that samurai sword at you.
He left it open ended
Out of
because
the
I don't think he imagined.
Right.
I don't
I
think
like
he
it.
imagined that anyone would give a shit. But here we are.
No,
Right.
I think he knew. He knew people would be talking about it.
No.
There's all sorts of
I
fun
think he would.
tie-ins.
I
we
think
can
he
do.
would.
Like
I
the
think
samurai
he knew it.
sword. Do you think it was signed by Randy Jackson?
It could have been.
Could have been like the Step Brothers had to pawn it off
Yeah.
when they grew up.
So yeah, that'll be a fun thing for us when we post this. Is like what was in the briefcase.
Yeah.
Yeah. For you, it's a soul.
Quit telling me that I keep saying it's a soul. It could be an infinity stone. It could be the reflective plate. It could be gold bricks. No, it's not gold bricks.
Could be drugs.
It's
Could
not
be
drugs.
money.
It's not money. It's not drugs. It's something that transcends the
So
storyline.
yeah, that's the other thing I don't think about. That's the other thing I don't understand about that theory. So the dudes that they get, like Marvin and Brett, like those guys are just walking around with Marcellus Wallace's soul in a briefcase.
What if it was stolen? And that's why Marcellus wants the briefcase back so bad.
No, but they were business partners with him.
That's what they said. And then if they're business partners, why do they got to shoot them?
Because they went back. They
Because they ditched.
right.
So
Why would it be a soul in a briefcase? I don't understand that. There's nothing in the movie that establishes that this is the kind of world where people's souls get sucked out of their necks and put in briefcases. Like, there's nothing that establishes that.
It's
You have to
not-
establish that kind of stuff. Like,
No,
Do you?
do
Yes,
not.
of course you
do
do.
not.
where's
Of
the
course
movie
you
rule
do
that says
not.
this?
no. But listen, like, it's the problem with, like, for instance, it's the problem with the new Batman movie. Okay,
Okay.
Bear with me. The new Batman movie, this is the grittiest, realest Batman movie yet, right? And the problem with it, though, it's so gritty and so real. They've grounded the world so much that you have a hard time believing that a guy's walking around in a bat suit in that world, right? In other comic book, Marvel type of things, we allow ourselves to understand, like, okay, this is a world where a guy can get shot up with steroids, fall asleep for 70 years and hasn't aged, and is like, that in that world, that's established as okay. In that world, aliens think that they're Norse gods and walk around with magic hammers. Like in that, no. If Thor showed up in the middle of Pulp Fiction, that would be problematic because there's nothing
He's coming for the Infinity Stone.
that's in. Okay.
Yeah, obviously.
That's how it works.
I'm
You don't know
I'm gonna
anything
end up
about movies,
I'm gonna
Chris.
end up voting against my own movie. That's what's gonna happen. All right. So then after they get the briefcase back, shoot Brad, they accidentally shoot Marvin in the back of the car. The movie then goes to Vincent Vega and Marcellus Wallace's wife. Sort of the first chapter in the story. Marcellus Wallace's wife, played by the enigmatic, beautiful, talented Uma Thurman. They go out on a little date to a restaurant that I would love to go to. I don't know if Jackrabbit Slim's was ever a real place.
Man, I hope so. How cool would that be for a restaurant?
Yeah.
And if it wasn't, I hope they created it after this movie.
Yeah. Super cool place.
Yeah.
Steve Buscemi is the waiter.
No, you're kidding me. Steve Buscemi's the waiter?
Yeah.
Buddy Holly?
Yeah, Steve Buscemi plays the Buddy Holly waiter.
I missed that 100%.
Vincent gets him a $5 shake.
Which is hilarious, right? Now.
Yeah, now, right? That was something that did not age well in the movie. Vincent Vega crying about a $5 shake. Now you're watching that in 2022, like, yeah, $5. I mean, it's reasonable. I guess.
It's like an extra large. Okay.
Yeah. After the, then they have a dance competition.
Okay, there was a lot of cigarette smoking while eating.
Smoking in restaurants. Was that still a thing? In places in the country in 94?
It was like so much. They smoked 3 cigarettes before they got the meal. They smoked 2 cigarettes while they were eating the meal.
Yeah. You smoke?
I used to. I don't smoke anymore.
Used to.
Yeah. Me too.
I never smoked while eating a bowl of cereal.
I have the worst. I have the
Couldn't.
worst how I started smoking ever.
Okay.
Story.
Go for it.
So I was what I would like in my 20s, like if I went out, had some drinks or something, then I'd like, understand that friends are going out to have a smoke, you join them, let me get one of those, it had to be real, feeling real good. And then, jeez, Pete, I was driving here.
Freedom Cats is brought to you by JC Innovations. We provide engineering services for medical device development and defense. It's also brought to you by Tippy River Adventures. You want to get on the Tippy River and enjoy the water with your friends and family? Come out, check us out, have some fun.
And a lot of on the road time by myself. And I was like, I was in a gas station in the Yukon Territory. And I was like, I don't know, buy a pack of cigarettes for the drive.
Yeah.
Not a first pack of cigarettes.
What else are you going to do?
First pack of cigarettes I ever bought. And in Canada, they've got like a big thing on the front with like a cancer-ridden lung. It's like on the front of it, like, here's what you're getting into. I'm like, thanks. So, finished that pack and then had myself a raging habit by the time
What kind of cigarettes?
Cowboy Killers, Marlboro Reds.
Ooh, wow, you went out of the gate hardcore. Went with the Reds, huh?
That makes me think of King of the Hill when Hank makes Bobby smoke a whole carton of cigarettes.
Yeah.
And he actually likes it. So he's like, oh, this backfired.
So so that was fun. So I didn't like, Joe Camel didn't catch me when I was 12. No, like I was like 27. And
I got a similar story-ish.
Yeah.
I was working for a defense contractor in Pennsylvania, in York, Pennsylvania, which is kind of a...
Working on anti-gravity.
Velcro. So we were making Tang-flavored Velcro.
Oh,
Edible
Tang Velcro.
You heard it here first, folks. Okay, so York, Pennsylvania is known for like Harleys, barbells, and heating and cooling, and then United Defense was the defense contractor. But it's a pretty closed society. It's not like Midwest Indiana where you can walk through Walmart and say hi to people. It's almost got a little bit of that kind of, it's like a mixture of like East Coast, New York, and Amish.
Nice.
It's like if Amish had the East Coast attitude. Yeah. So I was having trouble like socializing with people. So I would go to bars because that's where everybody goes to socialize. They kind of pre-programmed to be social in bars. And there was this really cute bartender at this one bar that I would go hang out at. And she smoked. And one night she's talking to me and she had a cigarette and she gave me a cigarette and I was halfway through the cigarette and she's like, I didn't know you smoked. And I was like, I didn't know I smoked either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Things we do for like,
Yeah.
like, yeah. So a lot of smoking in the restaurant. They win the dance contest, which John Travolta, you're going to win the dance contest. He's a bit of a dancer.
Yeah. He has the fever.
He does. Then they go back to Mia Wallace's place, which, again, not a good idea. Because earlier in the film, they've established that one guy gave Mia Wallace a foot massage, and and Marcellus Wallace threw him through a number of plate glass windows. But Vincent, he, sometimes you start smoking because, it's a cute bartender, right?
It made it sound like like so Looney Tunes right there. Threw them through a number of plate glass windows, like they were fighting through a glass window factory, and like threw them through 7 plate glass windows right there.
I'm just saying, they tell him that, you know, Rocky Horror got messed up because he allegedly gave Mia Wallace a foot massage. While Vincent Vega, played by John Travolta, is debating his situation in the bathroom, Mia finds a bag in his pocket that she mistakes for cocaine is heroin, and she snorts it and immediately goes into cardiac arrest and overdose. And it was at this moment that I learned that an adrenaline shot straight to the heart will resuscitate you. That was a crazy scene, bro. Eric Stoltz as a drug dealer, and yeah, it's crazy. And then we get to my favorite storyline in this movie, the Gold Watch.
Oh, yes.
Yep. The Watch.
Little Christopher Walken action.
Yeah. The prelude to that story is the star of that prelude is Christopher Walken talking about the watch that he held on to. Which his dad gave it to him. Goes through. He held that watch between his cheeks for quite some time in a Korean prison camp.
I think it was
Vietnam prison camp.
Yeah. 3 people in that scene. A nondescript mom and an equally nondescript child that represents Butch as a child.
And then
Chris Walken owns that entire scene.
I think that scene establishes Walken for like our generation.
Yeah.
Like he had done stuff in the 70s. He was in Deer Hunter, Dead Zone. I mean, Walken was, you know, he was an established actor, but
how long was that scene?
It's maybe 5 minutes.
There you go. 5 minutes, boom.
Yeah. And he's just Walkens all over the place. Then you have the Gold Watch. So, and in that scene, you know, you see Vincent Vega again in the bar. Right.
Was that so that was them in the
So then it cuts to Butch as an adult. Butch is getting the speech.
Oh, right.
Like,
and then
you feel that.
Yeah,
Vega, you're gonna feel that.
Vega and him at the bar.
You're gonna feel that tickle in the back of your brain.
It's pride.
That's pride messing with you. You see, and then he runs into Vincent Vega, calls him a palooka.
Yeah. Punchy, he calls him punchy.
Punchy, right. Yeah. And Butch agrees to throw a fight. He's bribed to throw a fight, but in the end, he takes that money, bets on himself, wins the fight, and accidentally kills the guy that he was fighting. So now Butch is on the run from Marcellus Wallace and his crew. We meet the one part of this movie I just can't, even all these years later, I can't handle.
Esmeralda Villalobos.
She's the worst. She's the absolute worst. The actress, the portrayal,
I liked it.
She's the worst.
I liked it. I liked it.
It's the only part of the movie. At this point, I just mute it.
Just
let
really?
it play out. I can't.
You don't think that's sickly sweet? Tell me what it feels like to kill a person.
Oh no, not her. I'm talking about the French girlfriend.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the cab driver.
No, she's great.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, you're talking about the. Okay, you're talking about
Butch.
Yeah.
I want to watch cartoons, Butch. Like, stop. I want to have a pot belly. Yeah, I want a little belly. Like, just the worst. She's just the worst. And my feelings of her completely validated because he didn't have that watch between his butt all through the Vietnam conflict for Frenchie to leave it at the hotel. So Butch has to go back. He's on the run from the entire LA mafia, everyone involved in LA under whatever I'm trying to say.
Yep.
So upset I am, Stefan. So to get the watch, gets the watch, sees Marcellus while he's driving home. He's got the watch. He's feeling good. He's listening to the radio. Marcellus Wallace with a box of donuts crosses in front of him. Sees Butch in the car.
Okay, lazy writing, or is that brilliant writing?
Brilliant. What's lazy about that?
So you got 3 concurrent things happening there where it's like You've got to move the story along. So you make an incompetent girlfriend, right? Who I understand your frustration about her.
The worst girlfriend in movie history is what you mean to say.
Right. But you put it all on her.
For.
Is it?
Yeah.
For what?
France is America's incompetent girlfriend.
Oh, snap.
Nah, wow.
Yeah, I like that. Holy, where does France get their blueberry pancakes?
I love blueberry pancakes.
Is that a German
She's
thing?
the worst. She's just
Bavaria?
the worst. Yeah.
Okay, so but the next thing then is Bruce Willis putting a Pop-Tart in the toaster. Vincent Vega comes out of the bathroom. That's how they end the Vincent Vega arc.
Oh, you're right. I glossed over that.
Yeah.
Pop-Tart. Yeah, Bruce is in the apartment. Butch is in the apartment. Realizes he's not alone. Pop-Tart pops out. It's Vincent Vega. Bruce takes out Vincent Vega. Vincent Vega's dead. Leaves. Sees.
So
Marcellus
Wallace, the guy's got more money than anybody knows what to do with, right? And he's walking through questionably a bad part of town with a box of donuts and a coffee.
Good management. He went and got donuts for the boys. He's the top guy, and he went and got donuts for the boys. That's a good leader right there. Marcellus Wallace.
He's not concerned. He doesn't have a soul anymore.
Okay. I just didn't know. I mean, it just seemed like
Stupidest thing.
it seemed like maybe an Avengers Endgame kind of move where it's like, hey, I just got to cash this movie out.
No,
So,
leadership skills via Marcellus Wallace.
Crappy
He
girlfriend.
goes and he's getting donuts for the boys.
crappy girlfriend.
We're open today.
My starts with an Uzi. You run over Marcellus Wallace at some random stoplight, and that moves you into the next key scene, which is the pawn shop scene.
Well, I love the whole, but then there's the whole like Marcellus Wallace has just been hit by a car, and there's like, hey man, I saw it happen. I got his plate number. Marcellus Wallace gets out, pulls like a desert eagle out of it, just starts blasting, shoots a bystander. Right? They go, then they run into the pawn shop. Turns out it's the pawn shop from hell. Two really bad dudes are running this place.
That was a brilliant twist. Like when I remember the first time I saw that, I thought, okay, this is going to be an interesting way to kind of conclude this whole story. Yeah. And I thought it was going to shake out like, you know, both of them were going to get shot by the guy who owns a pawn shop, or, you know, Bruce Willis gets shot, and then Marcellus Wallace ends up being kind of the anti-hero hero in the whole thing. I didn't know how it was going to shake out. I did not see it shake out the way it did. Yeah. And I was like, oh, that's even better. That's a crazier, better ending.
So then the pawn shop, he thinks he's saved. Butch thinks he's saved. Into the pawn shop. Turns out, no, bad dudes are running the pawn shop.
Right.
Come here, Gimp.
Yeah, and then we meet the Gimp.
That's the first time I'd ever heard of a Gimp. Is that the first time you guys had ever heard of a Gimp?
I would think so. It was definitely my first. This movie broke my ball gag virginity. I'd never seen a ball gag before.
I mean, I was 13, so I would hope it'd be the first time I've ever heard of a Gimp.
I got to imagine. Yeah. First foray into bondage stuff and things.
I think Bruce Willis was actually gagging on his too.
I'm sure he was. Yeah,
he was like doing that, and I was like,
Yeah.
he's actually gagging.
Yeah.
It's the last time I was watching it.
So, yeah, things are about to go down. Recently, by the way, Quentin Tarantino in an interview told the backstory of the Gimp.
Okay, let's have it.
The Gimp was a hitchhiker that Zed and the other guy captured, kidnapped, and abused him for such a long time.
Oh, he's got like Stockholm syndrome.
Now he's turned into, like, they abused him into becoming the Gimp. He was just some poor hitchhiker that they picked up.
Chris McCandless.
Okay, interesting question.
Window. That's
Chris
part of
McCandless.
the unreported part.
Chris McCandless. Better ending for Chris McCandless, to become a Gimp or die in the van. Go.
From a story standpoint or as a humor line, that would have been a great ending.
Super twist, right?
Yeah, right.
That would have been a super twist.
You almost have to invite another artist to do the soundtrack for that little extended cut.
How about George Clinton?
Ooh, yeah.
Oh, speaking of, you see he's coming to Fort Wayne? No. Yes. June 23rd, I think. George Clinton and Parliament.
Boys.
And like 3 others
All right, I'm
are
in.
there.
Yeah, we got
do
to
it. Wait,
Yeah.
when?
June 24th, I think. I think it's a
won't be able
Thursday.
to.
You're fine. You're
No,
fine.
I've got to throw people in the river.
They'll be fine. They can go on the 25th.
Yeah.
I got to throw people in order.
Stop. All right, whatever.
Oh, wait, it's going to be in the evening, though, right?
No, George Clinton's going to play a 2:00 afternoon concert.
I don't know. What was the...
hey, we're going to get funky in the afternoon.
It's a funkin' brunch.
What was the Jeremy Piven?
It's a fucking brunch. Put the pancakes.
That would be a killer brunch, right?
Put the syrup on the pancake. Put the syrup on the pancake.
Dude, we got to go to the funkin' brunch.
Yeah, it's a funky brunch.
You heard it here first, folks. George, if you're listening,
George,
make it happen.
P-Funk mimosas? Like, what are you thinking? No, it'll probably be in the evening.
Yeah, I can go.
Yeah, all right.
I'll make it happen.
Oh, weird.
Wednesday? Yeah.
Great. Got that established.
Holy crap, he does concerts on a Wednesday.
Well,
George Clinton.
He's probably
It is
passing through.
It is a Wednesday.
Yeah.
I'm impressed with your ability to just call that out.
Well, it's scheduling out events. That's why I know like what day is what. We have
I'm definitely in.
a group coming in on the 16th.
I've got a
Thursday.
12-passenger
So
excursion van. Like, we could haul. It's a bus.
You got a real type of thing.
You could do a whole...
we could make we could
Parliament
actually pay
parade.
for our tickets. We could make a quick loop up to like Forest River, pick up Amish, take them home, then head on over.
Yeah. Yep.
It'd be like
$50 a head. Yeah,
was
cover
it
those
road
tickets.
trip where they end up with the car broken down and all these Amish people are in Rumspringa.
Sounds right.
Actually,
Seth
we pick them up.
Meyers.
We take them with us and be like, this is what it's like out.
Rumspringa. I would say dying in the bus.
Dying on the bus rather than being
bring it
gimp.
back.
Yeah, I think that's probably fair. Butch knocks out the gimp. Gimp dies, and then is gonna leave, but decides to turn back as Marcellus Wallace is being systematically raped downstairs. There's that great scene where he grabs the chainsaw first.
No, he starts
The
with
hammer.
a claw
hammer,
and then baseball bat,
and then he sees the
then
samurai sword.
chainsaw, samurai sword.
Chainsaw,
Yeah.
samurai sword.
Shogun assassin time.
Shogun. He has the power of 12 armies in that sword. In terms of the other film theories, there is a theory that the sword that he grabs is Hattori Hanzo steel, which is the sword maker in the Kill Bill 1 and 2. So there's a fan
Theory is from when Bill's brother said that he pawned that sword.
That's the sword he pawned.
That's the sword he pawned.
Yeah.
But in that movie,
I really want it to be Hattori Hanzo steel.
it'd be pretty cool. Like,
Yeah.
it's a cool tie-in.
And then you got the MCU tie-in with the Thanos stone.
We are gonna move.
Maybe
on
it
from
is the Soul Stone.
I put a lot of notes together. I did not think we would spend nearly this much time on that.
Wow.
Butch goes back downstairs, executes the assailants, and Butch loses his LA chopper, baby. Whose chopper is these? Zed. Who's Zed? Zed's dead, baby. Zed's dead. Brrr, he goes down the road. It's so badass. And then this is the part where the next situation is where we realize that maybe there's not all things are the same, because Vince Vega, who is dead, shows back up with the Bonnie situation.
Oh, yeah. Probably, aside from Christopher Walken, this is my favorite short story.
Now, again, at this point, I think that's the part where you realize that, the movie is chopped up.
Yeah, right.
Non-sequential.
Yeah, it's going along. You see Vincent Vega get shot, but then he's back in the Bonnie situation. Yeah. The Bonnie situation, of course, being that Vincent Vega accidentally shoots Marvin in the face while they're driving, which, again, complete accident. I mean, he's motioning. Jules hits a bump. The gun goes off. He shoots Marvin in the face.
Did he hit a bump?
Yeah, I think it's clear. Are you trying to say that Vincent Vega shot him in the face on purpose?
I think he was animated. He was talking to him in a very animated way. They were engaging in that back and forth. Samuel Jackson and John
As someone who talks with his hands, like I'm sensitive.
Yeah, I think he accidentally shot him.
Yeah.
I think he just shot him because he was talking with his hands.
So they got to get off the road because there's blood and skull pieces.
And by
everywhere.
the way, that scene when it explodes.
Yeah, he's picking up brain chunks out of his afro. They go to his buddy's house, and played by Quentin Tarantino. Jimmy, his buddy Jimmy's house, played brilliantly by Quentin Tarantino.
So good. His vacillation between that like suburban guy. It's like, look, Jules. And then
Yeah.
his voice goes away.
I don't need you to tell me that my coffee's good, Jules.
Bonnie goes and she buys the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Got a dead guy in the garage. Yeah. So they call in the wolf,
Yes.
played by Harvey Keitel.
Brilliant.
Harvey, his second stint with Quentin, he plays Mr. White in Reservoir Dogs.
Another great movie. I like that one.
Reservoir Dogs or Pulp Fiction? Like you got to pick one. Like or fired up. Hey, we're gonna watch one of these two movies. Which one are you going to?
As a general audience, I'm gonna say Reservoir Dogs because it's a continuous story.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to have to.
No, general audience. Screw them. You. Who are you picking? General. audience.
Probably this one. Pulp.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pulp Fiction. For sure.
Yeah.
What about Kill Bill? Kill Bill 1 versus Pulp Fiction.
Okay, well, like I own Kill Bill: The Whole Bloody Affair, which is it's one movie as it was supposed to be.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, they've edited it down because it was supposed to be one movie. They wouldn't let him. You're not going to put at that point. It's real tough to put a 4-hour movie in cinemas because the idea is like the shorter movie, the better they can.
Yeah, turn people.
They can run it back. So Kill Bill versus Pulp Fiction. Gosh. I mean,
Kill Bill seems to be more refined than Pulp Fiction. Pulp Fiction's a little bit more raw as far as the cuts and everything like that.
Like Pulp Fiction is my favorite movie. I think Kill Bill is like a perfect movie. Like there are no skips in Kill Bill.
So you notice
he definitely nails the cinematography, and he does invest in the right types of production quality.
Yeah. Even Pulp Fiction has skips, right? Like I talked about the French girlfriend. Like I don't need it. There's even scenes in this movie where I'm like, I've seen it so many times. Like Kill Bill has no skips, none.
All right, how many 2 movies put together do you own? Because this is the second time you've mentioned 2 movies put together.
What?
Shogun Assassin, first one. Kill Bill, second one.
But Shogun Assassin was edited, 2 movies edited together.
I thought that's what you said about Kill Bill. It's just butted up together. Basically,
Yeah,
is what you
100%.
said. Okay, all right.
So like the transition piece at the end, it's just they've made it in. And that's a real release. They released a Blu-ray called Kill Bill: The Whole Bloody Affair, where it's one movie. And the scene in the House of Falling Leaves where it goes to black. We're already in R. Like this has to be in black and white, or otherwise it's going to be like NC-17 or whatever they call it. Yeah. So in that edit, it's one movie and the House of Falling Leaves. Well, no, there's an anime section that I'm aware of.
Okay,
but that sounds dope, Bill.
Yeah, like it was reminding me. I'm gonna have to look it up.
Combining those 2, or you have to watch the second half and then. Go back and watch the first.
So,
that way you get
100%
a bunch of killing scenes. Yeah.
So, the Bonnie situation, the wolf shows up, they clean up, they get the situation. Jules and Vincent decide they want to go get something to eat. So they go to a diner. And as they're having their breakfast, someone robs the diner.
Well, they have to Samuel Jackson. When did they plug that in there?
Well, that happened
that's the Bonnie situation. That's the beginning of the Bonnie situation.
Well, no. So if he shares Ezekiel 25:17, which is not the real Ezekiel. And then I looked up Ezekiel 25:17, and it's not nearly as cool in the Bible as it is in the movie. That was tough. Yeah. That was a tough moment.
You were practicing it, getting ready to say it at church. And
absolutely.
Those are not the words.
Yeah. But no, so that happens in the prologue to Vincent Vega and Marcellus Wallace's wife. Like he's
right in the beginning, but
then at the end, and then he goes into. I used to think that it just made me sound cool, but now I think about it as like, I'm the shepherd and you're evil men. And then he breaks it down for him and gets his wallet back. He lets them walk, but he gets his wallet back.
So this is where I 100% agree that Samuel Jackson's got the best and the most complete arc. And it's a great arc.
He walks away from it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he is redeemed, or he feels senses redemption. This is his moment. The fact that guy with the hand cannon and the bullets all went around him, that's his moment to get out. And for him, that is God telling him, Jules, get out.
Without a doubt. Yep.
And he sees it, and he embraces it, and he walks away. And everyone who doesn't gets got in this movie.
Yeah.
This is now, I think, probably the longest episode of the Freedom Cats podcast.
So, yes, Kill Bill, there is, I had heard about it, an anime prequel to the movies that is planned, a feature film.
Okay,
it's
but
planned.
It's planned, but not released.
It's planned right now.
Different things. Like they've also talked, back to Kill Bill for a second, the sequel to Kill Bill will be
Endgame, where they get that soul stone.
Freedom Cats is brought to you by 24/7 Cars. Are you looking for an affordable vehicle that you'll love? Then come see us at 24/7 Cars with 2 locations.
Well, the soul theory.
Los Angeles, circa 1993, for some gang, the Band-Aid was like he shaved his head for the movie and cut himself. I think that's the
no, it's the soul,
or it's his soul.
So, but the entire theory is that the wolf is like his boss, and he's the one that took Marcellus's soul and put it in the briefcase.
Dumbest theory.
The wolf is his boss?
That's the story.
No,
that's the theory.
He's the cleanup
that's
guy
the
that
theory.
you call. Yeah, see, watch the movie. Now you're out on the theory.
I gotta think about this one for a second.
Yeah, I'm all for some of these theories, but this one's ridiculous, and it has legs. Though this has been a theory for like 30 years. It drives me crazy. All right. Well, listen. Thoughts on any final thoughts on Pulp Fiction?
Good movie. I mean, it's a good movie. Not kid friendly.
The diner and
Everything.
Well, and even before that, it was a bowling alley. So
yeah,
the diner's actually it was all built interior inside of some warehouse.
That's all right. It's all right.
Jackrabbit Slims, is that a thing?
No,
he was talking about Jackrabbit Slims.
Oh, you were talking. Oh, I thought you were talking about the.
He thought you were talking about the diner.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, no. Jackrabbit.
No, he was talking about Jackrabbit.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha.
It's an Imagineers office.
Well, that needs to be a thing, Quentin. That needs to be a thing.
I bet it. You know what? The way his love affair with Los Angeles of a certain time. I bet it was.
Yeah.
Because Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is just a absolute love affair with that of a Los Angeles of that certain time. So I bet it was. I bet at some point there was something similar to that. Okay.
No other final thoughts, really. It's just a good, solid movie. It's one that if our listeners, viewers haven't seen it, make sure to watch it twice. Because some people will be put off by the fact that it's chopped up and, it's not a congruent story from start to finish. So make sure to watch it twice.
Yeah. I think a problem this movie might have if somebody jumped into it for the first time in 2022 is that it's one of those things where it's been aped. So many things of this movie have been copied. So many elements of this, if you saw it, I don't think you would respect it for the fact that it created a lot of tropes. And
I feel like there was a cartoon, maybe one of the Looney Tunes movies stole that car scene with Daffy and
oh gosh, it's been memed to death. I mean, this thing's been memed. I mean, first there were like a bunch of movies that came after this that were like 7 Days in the Valley, What to Do in Denver When You're Dead. Like there were these like movies that tried to tap into and like the whole like self-referential, like I'm going to reference comic books in this movie. Like one scene in particular is not completely fair because Quentin Tarantino wrote it, but like Crimson Tide, the Silver Surfer argument in Crimson Tide. You remember that?
No.
Where 2 guys are fighting on the sub and Denzel Washington comes over. He's like, what are you fighting for? He's like, well, sir, check out Crimson Tide. That movie's slap.
I've seen it, but I don't.
All right.
I've seen it once.
But that whole thing of like the referential to comic books, referencing popular culture and things like
very, very big influence on filmmaking as a whole moving forward from this movie.
Yeah, where you got like a Forrest Gump, which is like a compilation and greatest hits from, 30 years or whatever. And it's just kind of it's a trope. It's just a hour and a half trope or 2 hour trope. This Pulp Fiction, in contrast, created content that people then built entire genres off of.
Yep.
And he was leveraging his passion for like Shogun Assassin, right? Mm-hmm. It was like these B movies nobody really appreciated. He took and really owned it and his approach, his unique approach to story writing and all that stuff, and creating and character development and casting the right characters in those positions. Yeah.
He's the best.
He's the best. I mean,
The absolute best.
Yeah.
All right. Can't keep my eyes off you.
I feel awkward, man.
you're a good-looking guy. What
I
can we
feel
say?
awkward.
Yeah.
Like, am I supposed to say something now?
No, I just like looking at you.
This is yes.
Jody?
Yes, obviously, yes.
I don't know if it's obvious, but with you too.
Yes, for
I don't
the
know
movie and the soundtrack, actually. I like the soundtrack, too.
For the soundtrack, like that was cool. Like little things. Yeah, great soundtrack. Despite, a 30-minute conversation about souls in a briefcase, yeah, I'm going to say yes. I'm voting yes. This is, obviously, this deserves to be in the canon. And then when I pick Shogun Assassin again in a month, we'll try voting that one again. Get that one. Try squeezing that one in. Yeah, this movie, like I said, I don't find nearly the things that I'm into now without this movie. This is first movie. I forgot to admit, first movie my future wife and I ever saw together was Pulp Fiction. We were hanging out, and I was like, "You got to see this movie." She was not nearly as impressed with it as I was.
This is yourself.
No, and I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it. It speaks to like,
You sound pretty fine with it.
no, I'm cool with it. It speaks to like my used record store deal. Like I don't want you to be into my thing.
Yeah, he doesn't hold a grudge. He doesn't let it linger.
No, listen, I'm totally redeemed on this Shogun Assassin thing. More people have gone to that. I brought it to the masses. You.
This is
assholes
true.
don't
This
respect
is
it.
true. Okay, so the one argument rights to Shogun Assassin. Yeah, the
Criterion
Criterion
Network.
Network is going.
Yeah, they've seen a
They're
boot.
going
Yeah,
gangbusters.
why are 9 people now watching this movie as opposed to 1? Yeah, that's huge. Yeah, that's 9. That's 9x, boys.
Criterion Network spike.
All right, so that's obviously it's the safest pick you're gonna make. Pulp Fiction is in the canon. Pulp Fiction is a Freedom Cat's choice.
Yes, sir.
So all right, well, Stefan, next week is your pick, buddy.
Yep.
You're up again.
Yep.
Any ideas?
Yeah, I have this like lexicon of different things
Yeah?
I'm gonna pull out, and we're gonna go with the sword theme.
Okay.
We're doing Ghost Dog.
Oh, Ghost Dog, Way of the Samurai, starring Forrest Whitaker.
Yep.
This will be a first time watch for me.
Cool.
Nice.
Cool.
I'm excited.
This was another one that was like,
That's a good name.
Let's just see where Ghost, real quick. I just want to see where folks can find Ghost Dog.
Give me another Criterion thing.
Ghost Dad? Nope.
Ghost Dad. Wasn't that Bill Cosby?
Yeah,
It
it's
was.
totally
Ghost
Bill
Dad.
Cosby, yeah.
Ghost Dog is streaming on the Criterion channel.
Oh, well, all those passwords and stuff you gave out.
Yeah, I did
People
not
can
cancel.
still watch it.
I did not cancel my Criterion channel subscription. So
Maybe Criterion has a thing about swords too.
Criterion has a thing about excellent films.
Oh.
I'll let you know after I watch Ghost Dog.
I don't like your dismissive attitude. No, it's about, okay, now I'm not going to tell you. You'll find out. It's great. Super good. Super good. All right.
All right. Well, we're gonna review that movie. I've already got my movie locked in. If that's the theme we're going for.
I mean, you want to tease it out now?
No. Stay tuned.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks for mentioning it. and
Yeah, way to
Not
go.
finishing it.
If you
Your
like
art.
Rector Hauer, though, you're gonna like this.
If you like who?
Rector Hauer.
What's his name?
Rector. Am I saying that right?
Rector? Rutger?
What did I say? Rector.
Rector, as in like Rector. I barely knew her. Like what? Rector. Do you like Rutger Howard?
Sure. Rector.
It has a sword and it stars Rutger Howard.
Yeah. Come on now. Come on.
Sword with Rutger Howard.
Not Blade Runner. It's
Beverly Hills.
Blind.
He's blind.
Yeah.
Character in it. It's
Denzel
relatively
Washington
new.
is the Rector Hauer of.
It's not A Quiet Place, is it?
No.
I was
Isn't
thinking
it called Blind Fury?
I don't know the film you're referring to.
I love how it seems like you don't know the film either.
I might not.
Blind Fury. Yeah.
Okay. I'm
might
looking at the image. I'm looking here. I see a smiling Rutger Howard with a sword slicing Uzis in half.
Yeah, that's it. Is it called Blind Fury? It's Blind
Yeah.
Fury, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that looks.
So I'm not crazy.
Yeah.
That's your pick, huh?
Yeah, going hard at it. Hard at it. And it sounds like you guys haven't seen that film.
No,
I didn't know that was a film until about, I don't know, 15 seconds ago.
You are welcome, gentlemen.
That one's on Tubi.
Oh, okay.
TUBI.
Yeah. There you go.
That free app that comes with TVs.
You're welcome.
Can't wait. All right, so we've got
Ghost
Dog, Blind Fury.
Yeah, sounds like a plan.
If Blind Fury makes it and Shogun Assassin doesn't, I swear.
Oh, it's gonna make
I'm
it.
burning it. I'm burning it all down. I am burning it all down. All right, hey, this has been fun. Appreciate it.